Hi everyone. So first of all, I would like to thank the Minrate team for giving me this opportunity. So today I'll be sharing a small piece of work and the title of this is Predicting Severity in COVID-19 Patients Using Novel Hemocytometric Parameters. As we all know, the COVID-19 is an ongoing global pandemic which is caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. In short, we call it SARS-CoV-2. It was first described in late December 2019 in China. COVID-19 has very variable clinical manifestation. It can range from mild flu-like symptoms, it could be asymptomatic, or it can vary to life-threatening ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome, and organ failure, which can cause death. As we all know, the standard test to detect COVID-19 remains RT-PCR, which is highly specific but lacks sensitivity. The complete blood count is the most routinely performed inexpensive hematological test which is used globally, and most of the routine laboratories are equipped with often high throughput hematology analyzer. In this respect, leukocytosis, neutrophilia, and lymphopenia have been reported in COVID-19 positive patients. However, some of these analyzers further differentiate the subsets of leukocytes involved based on scatter and fluorescence properties, which include size and cell volume, denoted as FSC, forward side scatter, then internal structure, side scatter, and DNA RNA content by fluorescence properties, SFL, reported as research parameters in the cell population data. As most of the published data in these patients is focused on traditional parameters such as lymphocyte count, platelet count, and NLR, so we decided to assess the role of novel parameter. So the aim of this pilot study is to analyze the contribution of these novel parameters to established clinical risk factors in predicting adverse outcomes in COVID-19 patients to support patient management decision and thus facilitate timely interventions. Coming to the methodology, the study was carried out in Department of Hematology, Sir Ganga Ram Hospital, New Delhi, and data from 2 months, April to May 2021, was collected and analyzed. In this retrospective pilot study, total 30 COVID-19 patients were included, which were confirmed cases by RT-PCR, and all these were admitted in the hospital ward. 20 of them were shifted to ICU after progression of the disease. So this included 20 male and 10 female patients from age group 30 to 89 years. All the baseline COVID workup was done as per the guidelines. The admitted patients were divided into two broad groups. The one, patients who were admitted in the ward who got discharged with improvement, and the patients who developed cytokine storm syndrome as per the criteria, and they were shifted to ICU. The patients having hemoglobinopathies, hematological or solid malignancies on chemotherapy were excluded from the analysis. CBC parameters were measured by collecting peripheral blood in the EDTA tube, and they were analyzed on a fully automated hematology analyzer, Sysmex Exon 1000. The advanced research parameters were related to scatter and fluorescence properties of neutrophil, lymphocyte, and monocyte, which were obtained from analysis. In addition, 20 cases of normal controls were also analyzed. So following parameters were done, and they were detected using automated cell analyzer Sysmex Exon 9100. So we had detected IgNRBC, neutrophil reactivity intensity, NEUT-RI, NEUT-GI for neutrophil granularity, neutrophil FSC for the size and volume of neutrophils, then the similar parameters for monocyte, which included MOSSC for monocyte nuclear irregularity and metabolic activity, MOSFL, MOFSC for the size and volume of monocyte. Then there was lymphocyte SSC, lymphocyte SFL for metabolic activity, lymphocyte FSC for the size and volume of lymphocyte. In addition, high fluorescence lymphocyte count percentage and absolute value HFLC were also included. So describing in short these parameters, the site scatter signal of neutrophil population, which is plotted here at x-axis of this scattergram, it's an indication of the granularity and internal structure and the fluorescent intensity, which corresponds to the RNA and DNA cell content, is plotted on the y-axis, which is an indicator for increased RNA activity. Similarly, these parameters were also seen for lymphocyte and monocyte in addition to neutrophil. So in the differential channel, these cells were differentiated based on their fluorescence signal intensity, the size and the internal structure. The parameter Newt-RI, we know it reflects the neutrophil reactivity intensity. In the 90-degree side scatter light of the differential channel, we got information about cell density and complexity, which represents the granularity. So when the complexity of the neutrophil increases because of the change in functionality, so the parameter Newt-GI also changes accordingly. Similarly, there are changes in this parameter for lymphocyte and monocyte. Coming to HFLC, we already have talked enough about HFLC. So in short, HFLC count reveals a cell population which can be distinguished from monocytes and normal lymphocytes in a 5-part differential channel by the higher intensity of their fluorescent signal. Previous studies have demonstrated the correlation between HFLC and activated B lymphocyte, HFLC and plasma cells in the peripheral blood. So HFLC are actually exclusively activated B lymphocytes which synthesize antibodies, and it is recognized by markedly high increase in the fluorescent intensity compared to that lymphocytes which are not activated. So most HFLCs may represent only antibody producing B lymphocytes. It is also proposed by Listen et al. In the article. So coming here, we can see that there are these routine and research parameters from the hemocytometric plot from in different categories. So there are 3 patient groups where in the COVID-19 negative, we can see that there are different cell population as well as their x-axis showing side scatter and y-axis showing the fluorescence intensities. Then here it is one of the COVID-19 positive case without cytokine storm. So here this panel shows the area where it is RE and AS, but in our country, as there is no license available to assess these AS lymphocytes and RE lymphocytes, we can get only HFLCs. So as we know that HFLC represents antibody synthesizing lymphocytes, so HFLC was included in this analysis study. Now in this, the third category, here it shows the use of measurement of the reactive monocytes, RE mono, and immature granulocytes. Here we have included these three parameters for neutrophils, then monocytes, lymphocytes, along with the HFLC. Here is the analysis. We can see that in the first group, the 20 controls were compared with the total number of admitted COVID-19 cases, that were 30 cases. The second group was non-severe patients which were admitted in the ward, which were 10, versus severe who had to be shifted to ICU because of the developing complications. And the third category was the patients who were investigated at the time of admission, the baseline, which were 20 in number, versus when they shifted in ICU and got cytokine storm. So these 3 categories are mentioned here. Based on these parameters, on analysis, we found that for the control versus total admitted positive cases in the ward, we found the significant difference in the parameters Newt-RI, then monocyte SSC, monocyte SFL, the metabolic activity and nuclear irregularity for monocyte, and HFLC, percentage and absolute value. While we did not find any significant difference in the patients non-severe versus severe, which included the patients who did not develop symptoms and who did not worsen in terms of clinical presentation, and versus the patients who had to be shifted to ICU. In the third category, which was done between the baseline investigation versus when they got shifted to ICU, it was only the HFLC percentage which showed a significant difference. So in short, we found the significant difference in NEUT-RI, the SFL, that is the site fluorescence of neutrophil, monocyte nuclear irregularity, MOSSC, monocyte metabolic activity, that is MOSFL, along with HFLC percentage and absolute number between the control group and all the patients admitted in the ward who were diagnosed as COVID-19. While in the other group, where the patients who developed complications shifted to ICU, when compared to their baseline parameters studied, it showed significant difference only in the HFLC percentage. So coming to the discussion, as we all know, the fear of third wave of COVID-19 has already alarmed the globe. There is a need to assess the disease severity and mortality risk associated with COVID-19 for the optimal management of the patient. And the several inflammatory and hematological parameters are thought to associate with the severity of this disease. So this pilot study was an attempt to examine these relatively novel hemocytometric parameters in these confirmed positive cases of COVID-19. And we found that there is a significant difference in terms of NEUT-RI, MOSSC, MOSFL, and HFLC in terms of percentage and absolute value between the control group and all the patients admitted in the ward. So, coming to the conclusion, these parameters, if found relevant in a larger number of cases, it could be used as suitable biomarker for prognosis of COVID-19 disease. And the alteration in these parameters can be easily used for severity and mortality analysis, as routine blood tests are easy and they are readily available. So these evaluation of novel parameters can aid clinician to identify potentially severe cases at early stages, initiate effective management in time, conduct early triage, which may reduce the overall mortality of COVID-19 patients. So this study identifies and describes a summary of changes in the novel WBC parameter of COVID-19 patient. Although this is a pilot study with a small sample size, it is a step towards understanding the hematological manifestations of COVID-19, and knowledge of these constellation of changes in the peripheral blood cells by a simpler method, if substantiated with larger studies, it may help physicians to diagnose COVID-19 in the absence of a negative RT-PCR and antigen test. Thank you.